Hey guys, welcome to my first read aloud. Today's book is called Micawber. It's written by John Lithgow and illustrated by C.F. Payne. Yep. One Sunday in springtime, Micawber arose from his Central Park carousel nest. He straightened his whiskers and polished his nose, and set off for the place he loved best. He scampered past pigeons and poodles and geese, past boathouse and bandshell and zoo, past joggers and skaters and mountain police to a palace on Fifth Avenue. For inside was a splendid collection of art, a sight for a squirrel to treasure, a feast every week for his eyes and his heart, which Micawber could savor at leisure. Through the windows he'd gaze at Van Dyck and Van Gogh, appraise every Rembrandt and Titian, and scrutinize Rubens, pursue each Rousseau, inspect each Lautrec and Casset and Miro. He would find a new favorite each time he would go, and nobody charged him admission. But a stranger appeared on this particular day. As Micawber peered down through a skylight, he stood at an easel beneath a Monet and depicted a haystack at twilight. Micawber observed for hours on end as she copied each texture and shade. He noticed a stroke of each brush should extend the rare concentration, and care should expend, should become his unwitting and unknowing friend. By the time the day started to fade, he hid in the box where his paints were all stowed, while she bicycled home unawares. Then he sneaked himself into her modest abode as she hauled her equipment upstairs. From the box after midnight, the stowaway crept, stretching his limbs, adjusted his eyes, while his beguiler contentedly slept as he rifled through all her supplies. Micawber's dull life, with its tedious toils, all at once seemed 100 times duller as he straddled a palette and squeezed at some oils and discovered the wonders of color. He daubed at a canvas with cadmium green, enjoying his tale as a brush, then magenta, vermilion, ultramarine, alizarin crimson, and bright tangerine. Such radiant rainbow he'd never seen, so splashing lavish and lush. By morning, Micawber was finally done, so proud that he practically fainted. He'd been looking at paintings from day number 1, but never painted. He'd painted. As the sunlight poured in, he was ready to go, leaving everything just as he found it. Through the transom, he scrambled his canvas in tow. He rolled up with a shoelace tied round it. One truck trundled by as Micawber alit. On the side, it was Park Sanitation. He bounded aboard it, ignoring the grit, and completed his peregrination. He returned 30 times. By following fall, the paintings poured forth like a geyser. He fastened them all to his living room wall, and the woman was never the wiser. So, if some July you should chance to pass by a Viridian Central Park dale, look around for a squirrel with gleam in his eye and some paint on the tip of his tail. And you should visit the old carousel, look up at its uppermost part. Inside Although nobody ever could tell, a talented squirrel continues to dwell. If you try, you can picture it clear as a bell. The end. Thank you for listening to my book. It's it's a lovely story about a squirrel who loves paint.